everyone. You're listening to Check 6 Radio. I'm your host, Dennis Tresca. Whether you're a grunt making your morning commute, a sailor pulling the night shift, an airman just trying to figure out what to do with your weekend, or a guardian keeping a watchful eye on the satellites, I'm glad you're here. We are proudly part of the Rad Dad Network, a community built on connection, camaraderie, and making sure no one flies a solo mission in the next chapter of life. As a co-founder of this network, as I've said before, the bylaws clearly state that I'm legally obligated to start this sortie with the dad joke. So here we go. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels. You're welcome. Let's get tactical. Let's do a quick recon review. In episode 1, your homework was to secure your digital perimeter by logging into VA.gov, setting up your ID.me, and downloading your DD-214 and benefit verification letter. In episode 2, we broke down how the GI Bill is actually a career multi-tool for apprenticeships, flight schools, and certifications. If you missed those, go back, embrace the suck, and get your baseline established. Now, for today's sortie, I was originally scheduled to have a guest on the line to talk about corporate leadership. But as we all know, no plan survives first contact with the enemy, or in this case, a scheduling conflict. We got a last-minute wave off, so today it's just you and me on this solo flight. And honestly, that's perfect, because we need to have a serious sit-down about the local perimeter. We spend so much time staring at the massive federal VA machine that we completely ignore our own backyards. We look at the GI Bill, we look at VA healthcare, and get our federal rating, and we stop there. But here's the truth. Every single state in the union has its own Department of Veteran Affairs, and they offer state-level benefits that can literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Today, we're going state by state to look at the hidden gems you are leaving on the table. I'm going to do some roll calls today, so if you hear your state, your ears need to perk up. All right, let's start with the absolute heaviest hitter in the civilian world. Property taxes. When you buy a house, your mortgage payment is made up of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. In some states, those property taxes can be as much as your actual house payment. Hello, Nebraska. But if you have a VA disability rating, your state might just wipe that tax bill completely off the map. In episode 1, I told you that your benefit verification letter is your golden ticket. Here's exactly why. I'm going to do a rapid-fire roll call right now. If I call your state and you are 100% permanent and total disabled or TDIU veteran, your state offers a 100% property tax exemption on your primary residence. Ready? Let's go. Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Maryland, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, my home state of Nebraska. That's right, Cornhuskers. New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. If you heard your state, you might be sitting on $5,000 to $15,000 a year in savings. But, and this is the biggest but in the veteran world, I said what I said, the government does not just hand it to you. The federal VA does not talk to your local county tax assessor. You can be 100% P&T for 5 years and your county will happily keep cashing your property tax checks until you raise your hand. You have to take that benefit verification letter, walk down to your county tax office, and file the state-specific exemption paperwork yourself. Now, what if you aren't 100%? Do not tune out. If you have a rating between 10 and 90%, there are some states that offer tiered property tax exemptions to lower your tax bill based on your percentage. Okay, here they are. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Montana, Nevada, New York, North Dakota, Ohio, Oregon, Rhode Island, Utah, and Vermont. If you are 50% disabled in one of these states, you might get $5,000 knocked off the assessed value of your home. It might not zero out the bill, but it lowers your monthly mortgage payment. That is money you can use for your family, your groceries, or your savings. Next, let's talk about education. Last week, we covered the GI Bill. But what happens if you burn through your GI Bill? Or what if you want to pass education benefits down to your kids, but you didn't transfer your post-9/11 GI Bill while you were still on active duty? Enter state-level education hacks. All right. The undisputed heavyweight champion of state education benefits is the Hazelwood Act in Texas. If you entered the military from Texas, the state provides up to 150 hours of tuition exemption at public universities. That is essentially a free bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And the best part, if you don't use it, you can transfer those hours to your spouse or your kids. But Texas isn't the only one doing this. There are a litany of states that offer massive tuition waivers, grants, or scholarships specifically for the dependents of disabled veterans. Listen closely. Alabama, Arkansas, California, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. If I just called your state, your kids might be able to go to a state college for absolutely free or at a massive discount just because you have a VA rating. For example, California has the CalVet College Fee Waiver, which wipes out mandatory system-wide tuition for kids of disabled vets. Wisconsin has the Wisconsin GI Bill doing the same thing. Here in Nebraska, if you're a 100% P&T rated veteran, your kids go to school to any state college tuition free. It's great. You need to verify what your specific state offers. If you have kids who are approaching high school graduation, you cannot afford to ignore your state's Department of VA website. Finally, let's look at quality life and logistics. You didn't serve just to pay bills and work a 9-to-5. You served to enjoy the freedoms of this country. Let's talk about your vehicles and recreation. I'm incredibly proud to say that all 50 states, every single one of them, offer some form of specialized disabled veteran license plate. And almost all of them offer free or heavily discounted hunting and fishing licenses for disabled vets. Whether you're in Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, Nebraska, Texas, Florida, Maine, or Alaska, literally all 50 states have a program for this. In some places, having a DV plate gets you out of paying vehicle registration fees completely, which can be hundreds of dollars a year. In others, those plates get you free parking at municipal meters or even free access to state toll roads. Some airports will let you park in the long-term garage for free if you have DV plates. Then there's a recreation side. State parks, hunting, and fishing. If you like to hunt or fish, state licenses can get expensive, but many states offer free lifetime hunting and fishing licenses for disabled veterans. They also offer free passes to state and national parks. These sound like small things, $50 here, $100 there, but it's about the principle. These are benefits that taxpayers of your state voted to give you to say thank you for your service. Don't leave them sitting on the shelf just because you didn't want to fill out a one-page form. All right, that's a massive amount of intel for a solo sortie. Let's synthesize this into an actionable mission plan. Here is the tactical drill for this week. I have 3 steps for you. Step 1, Google your state. Type your state, Department of Veterans Affairs into Google. Do not go to the federal VA.gov site for this. Find your specific state's official website. Find the Benefits tab. Look for the state-specific benefits summary. Every state has one. It's usually a PDF or a grid outlining property tax laws, education waivers, and vehicle registration perks. Read it. Find out what you qualify for today. Locate your CVSO. Find your county veteran service officer. Every county in America has one. Their entire job, paid for by the county, is to know these local laws and help you file the paperwork for these state benefits. Find out who this person is, introduce yourself, and get your state paperwork filed. The civilian world does not hand you anything on a silver platter. There is no training NCO making sure your boxes are checked. You have to take point on your own transition. Your benefits are not a handout. They are a paycheck you earned in advance through blood, sweat, and missed holidays. If you got value out of today's briefing, do me a huge favor. Share this episode with just one veteran in your contacts who needs to hear it. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or really anywhere you listen to your podcasts, okay? This way the algorithm knows to keep pushing this to the guys and girls who are currently navigating that sea of goodwill. And be sure to check out the other fantastic shows on the Rad Dad Network. We're building a community here, and we want you to be a part of it. I'm Dennis Tresca. This is Check 6 Radio. Stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and watch your 6.